Hello everyone. Today I want to straighten out a common misunderstanding, which has to do with the concept of allowing. You've heard many spiritual teachers, including myself, talk again and again about the idea that the highest spiritual state to be in is the state of allowing. But what does it mean exactly to be in the state of allowing? And does taking action contradict allowing? Or is taking action a key ingredient to allowing? Allowing means to deliberately choose your thoughts, words, and actions so as to allow yourself to align with your desires. It just so happens that aligning with your desires is the same thing as aligning with your higher self, because your higher self, your non-physical source aspect, holds the exact vibration of your desires. To understand more about that, you can refer to a video which I have made previously. The title of this video is Happiness is the Purpose of Your Life. Want to know why? You can find it by searching on YouTube. We cannot be thinking a negative thought and be in a state of allowing. We cannot be taking an action which feels emotionally negative to take and be in the state of allowing. It is our emotions which indicate to us whether we are allowing or whether we are resisting. Negative emotion always means that you are thinking a thought which has you in resistance. Positive emotion always means that you are thinking a thought which has you in a state of allowing. We have this picture in our minds when we think of allowing, and it looks like this: complete passive surrender to the universe, a state of inactivity, letting the universe live out our lives for us, as if we were chess pieces here to be played by the universe in a predetermined game. It is as if we think the universe knows what is right for us more so than we know what is right for us. But this picture of allowing is a misunderstanding. The state of allowing is not a state of inaction. It is not a state of spiritual laziness and surrender. It is a state of inspired action and deliberate focus. You could think of the state of allowing as the state of total non-resistance, but the state of non-resistance, the state of allowing, is not a stagnant energy, it is a forward-moving energy. We have this key phrase in the spiritual community which goes like this: whatever happens is meant to happen. And while it is true that you can definitely know what should be happening, why? Because it is happening. We use this term to cop out of the responsibility of being the creators of our own life. When we feel utterly powerless, this thought that whatever happens is meant to happen is a comfort to us. It helps us to release resistance. But those of us who live our lives according to this idea feel powerless to our own lives. We live our lives at the mercy of the universe, which is to forget that we are extensions of this universe. The entire reason you are here is because the universe knew it would benefit by projecting you to the leading edge. Did you hear what I just said? Leading edge. Leading edge, which is what the physical dimension is, means that you are telling the universe which direction you want your life to go. You are leading, not the other way around. The universe is merely arranging your reality according to your current thoughts. Whether you are thinking something negative or positive, you are telling the universe what to become and thus what your reality is to become. The universe is no more God than we are God. The universe is learning through our perspective and our desires what is right for us. It is not playing us like a game of inanimate chess pieces. Instead, we are like animated chess pieces that tell the player which direction we want to move, and through that, the player learns about itself. The chess player learns about itself because the chess pieces are just a projection of itself. The chess pieces and the chess player are different manifestations of the exact same being. You did not come here in order for the universe to live your life for you. In fact, that's the surefire way to stop expansion. It's almost like you're in a stalemate. The game of life can't be played. Why? Because the universe is waiting for you to make your move, and you are waiting for the universe to make its move because you're convinced it's the universe's turn when it's actually your turn. In essence, we use the passive surrender statement of whatever happens is meant to happen when we have given up. We have created so much resistance in our own lives when we accept the role of creator, and we distrust our abilities to create what we want so much that giving up and turning it over to the universe feels like relief. In fact, the only time you want to turn it over to the universe completely is when every other thought or action causes you to feel negative emotion, which is the indication that those thoughts or actions are resistant in nature. But if this is you, if you continually find yourself doing this, it is time to re-examine your beliefs about yourself and whether you actually recognize or believe that you are the creator of your reality. You can think of this life like a game that you're playing in tandem with your higher self, with your source aspect. Because of that, if you're not playing your role in this game, there is no momentum. You're not feeding the universe any energy to direct. So I want you to remember something very valuable. You have to throw the ball for the universe to throw the ball back. Another important thing to remember relative to this is that the more balls you throw, the more chances that one of those balls is going to be a home run. Let me explain. When we're completely set on one thing working out for us, let's say that we want abundance. If we're completely set on the one way that abundance will come to us, we are only throwing one ball to the universe, not multiple balls to the universe. And what's interesting is, if we have cashed all our chips into that one pot, so to speak, we have a lot of resistance to that one thing working out. Why? Because we start to worry about what if it doesn't work out. And worry is resistance. And so we are resisting the very avenue through which we think we're going to receive our desire. On the other hand, if we keep throwing our energy towards multiple options in order to meet whatever need it is or want it is that we are thinking about, we will have less resistance. We'll stop worrying about one of them versus another one of them manifesting. And because we have less resistance, those desires will come to us much quicker and much easier. This concept is easily highlighted by examining people who play the lottery. If we become convinced that the only way we're going to make millions is if we win the lottery, we put all of our energy towards the lottery. We care so much about winning the lottery that we worry about the potential of not winning the lottery, and thus we resist the very thing we desire, and because of it, we don't allow ourselves to create a situation in our lives where we do win the lottery. And not only that, we disallow all other potential avenues for abundance to come into our experience at the same time. We have told the universe that the only way that money can come to us is via the lottery, which is the very avenue that, due to our worry, we are in resistance to. We cannot allow our own abundance when we are doing that. We limit ourselves. We are not throwing many balls to the universe. We are throwing one ball to the universe, and because of our own resistance, we are throwing it poorly. This is sort of like throwing a ball into a gale force wind, and thus the chances of it being a home run is very low. This is what you need to ask yourself. Am I trying to let the universe live my life for me? Or am I living my life by deciding what I desire, then taking action to move in the direction of that desire when I feel a hint of inspiration? And am I then allowing the universe to play its role, which is merely to provide the signs, hints, and opportunities which will allow me to achieve what it is that I desire? Spiritual living and allowing is not the state of blissed out laziness. That is a direct opposition to the idea that you came here to be the creator of your own experience. Taking inspired action is the very reason that you chose to come into the physical dimension in the first place. It is because of the sweetness of the experience of using your physical action to line up with your desires. That's why everyone up there, in non-physical perspective, is wanting to come down here into physical perspective. And so it must be said that sometimes the most allowing state, the most spiritual state, is taking action. We all know, because I've said it a million times before, that no amount of action that you ever take will make up for what you lack in thought. That means if you're thinking a thought like, I can't fill in the blank, No amount of action towards achieving that thing which you want to achieve is going to make up for the damage that that one thought does. Because it is your thought, not your actions, that dictate what vibration you hold. And this is a vibrational universe that we are living in. But you can use your action to influence the thoughts you're thinking. And thus, you can use your action, absolutely, to create the reality that you are living in. Passivity and surrender are not always the most allowing states. Sometimes they are in and of themselves resistant in nature. They can both be the result of disbelief and distrust in the self. They are often the indication that we are trying to cope with the feeling that we are not in control of our own lives, and so we use them as an escape. The misunderstanding most of us in the spiritual community have is that the most allowing state we can be in is the state of surrender to the universe. This is not the case. The number one most allowing state to be in is the state of pure positive focus. And the second most allowing state you can be in is the state of taking inspired action. Taking inspired action is to take action which is fueled by a positive emotion. This is the opposite of to act on an urge. An urged action is an action which is the byproduct of a negative emotion. If you take action from a positive emotional space, it will yield positive results. However, if you take action from a negative emotional space, it will yield negative results. It can be no other way, according to the law of attraction. The law of attraction dictates that the only things which can share the same reality are things which are a vibrational match. And thus, a negative thought can only lead to negative emotion, and negative emotion can only lead to a negative action, and negative action can only lead to negative results. You can see this easily through the example of drug use and addicts. When I am feeling afraid or powerless, I may feel the urge to shoot up heroin. The idea and action of shooting up heroin may feel like relief because it is an improvement from the feeling of powerlessness and fear. But it was still an action that was the result of powerlessness and fear, and so only more powerlessness and fear can be the result of taking that action. If I was feeling afraid or powerless and I was to deliberately look for better and better feeling thoughts to think, thoughts that in the thinking of them felt like relief, I would eventually find myself thinking a thought that felt emotionally positive to me. Maybe that positive thought that felt more like empowerment would cause me to suddenly feel the inspiration to go on a hike in nature instead of shoot up heroin. And because that action was inspired from a positive thought that felt like empowerment, it would yield positive results that would only lead to more empowerment. Long story short, living a spiritual life does not mean taking a back seat to the universe, to God. It does not mean taking a back seat to your own life. It means to allow yourself to work with the universe instead of against it. It means to allow you to work with yourself instead of against yourself. You are the creator of your own life. What does that mean? It means that whatever you want to have happen is what's meant to happen. The universe will arrange all necessary conditions for you to meet, for you to line up with your desire. And it will arrange those conditions immediately because the universe holds a perspective which is absent of resistance. That means the second you desire something, the universe becomes the exact vibrational match of that desire. Absolutely no exceptions to this rule. So if you are living some experience which is not what you think you want to have happen, that means one of two things is occurring. Number one, you yourself are resisting the thing you want with something you are thinking or believing. Number two, you are in denial of what you truly desire. but you have been simultaneously, subconsciously informing the universe of what you truly desire. And so the universe is responding to that deeper, stronger truth of what you really desire. In either case, you are the one that is calling the shots. You cannot live your life without taking action. Learning to surrender and just be is a very valuable thing because it helps us to release resistance and reconnect with the truth of who we are as spiritual beings in a quantum universe with no time, where the present moment is all that exists and it is perfect as it is. But to try to just be in the physical dimension is not possible. It is endedness. It means we are not allowing ourselves to be the creators that we came here to be. To try to spend your life in a state of just being, in a state of surrender to the rest of the universe, is to not really live. It is to stop facilitating the expansion of this universe. It is to stop allowing ourselves to be what it is that we truly are, which is what you came here to allow. And so it must be said that this is your life. It is time to go and live it. And taking action is a very valuable way to line up with whatever it is you're trying to allow. Have a good week.